Hello, this is an introduction to WIDP. After listening to this presentation and viewing the next 14 slides, you should have a better understanding of temperament, and people will be changed forever based on their new foundation of understanding. This is Worley's Identity Discovery Profile, WIDP. We're here to develop people. Joshua Fiera, I am an affiliate manager with WIDP. Our vision within the incorporation is to communicate temperament understanding to all people, teaching them about their unique temperament design that was determined at conception. Our mission is to educate temperament understanding to professional men and women who are called to serve others by means of certification by distant education. And this is part of the introduction of that education. After utilizing WIDP and understanding yourself a little bit better, we should expect miracles. This is the book that has been written based on WIDP. It is very informative in terms of outlining the different temperament regions, and it is available on Amazon as well as on the website. So this is the triangle that we like to refer to while outlining temperament within WIDP. What people get misconstrued is they associate temperament with character and personality. However, temperament is the foundation of who the individual is that is determined at conception. It is your genetic nature. It's not chosen. It is not affected by your environment. It is unchanging. Once you're born out of the womb, you have your temperament intrinsic to you, which brings us to the character, which is your belief systems, your values, your morals. That's all environmental factors that affect you based on how much you've been chosen, adopted, or molded within that, and that changes at will. Your personality is your mask that people see how you want to appear towards individuals. It is self-selected and it changes at will. So these are the 5 main temperaments. This is a start to delving into the graphic representation, the values that are produced from the test itself. In the top left quadrant, we have the IS, which is introverted sanguine. Top right, we have the S for sanguine. And right smack dab in the middle, we have phlegmatic, the P. Bottom left, we have M for melancholy. And bottom right, we have C for choleric. So each profile is comprised of 6 different components. However, there are 3 different components of the profile itself. There's the social temperament, the leadership temperament, and the relationship temperament. Each of those areas has a value associated with it. The first value for the social is a demonstrated behavior, which you express towards people. And number 2, the desired behavior is what you actually want to receive back. And social is surface level relationships. When you're out and about, not really having a relationship with people, this is how you'll express yourself in situations. The leadership temperament is the same thing. You have your demonstrated behavior and your desired behavior. This is in the realm of power control and responsibility and how you display yourself in those sorts of situations. And then your relationship temperament is your openness for close, intimate relationships. And these are your friends and family and those you really have in your inner circle. The zeros, 0 through 9, does not mean it's a bad score. The 0 simply means you have tendencies to be an introverted, versus if you score a 9, you are more extroverted. And that will vary based on what you desire and express. So here is the chart that's filled out with the values. Once you take your WIDP assessment, it will give you 6 different values. And once you have those 6 different values, you can go ahead and plot them on this chart. Once they're plotted on the chart, you can further understand what temperament you are. And within this slide, we have an example here. The example for this individual, we have a 2-7 in social, 1-0 in leadership, and 8-6 in relationship. If we plot a 2-7 on this chart, this individual falls within the introverted sanguine quadrant. For leadership, we have a 1-0. If you plot it down the bottom left, they are in melancholy. And within the relationship, there are 8-6, which falls in the top right quadrant, which is a sanguine. So once you have this chart in front of you, it makes it pretty easy to go ahead and have a graphic representation of what your temperament is. Viewing the temperament assessment in a different way, you can see this in a more linear fashion. We have the 3 different areas: social, leadership, and relationship, each associated with a different value. If you take a clinical WIDP assessment, it will show you your 6 different values. Your values will appear just how they are at the top of this slide: 2, 7, 1, 0, 8, 6. We then know the first 2 values are associated with your social area. The 1-0 is associated with your leadership area, and the 8-6 is associated with your relationship area. So as we saw in the graph before, the 2-7 is an introverted sanguine. The introverted sanguine it gets that term because their demonstrated value is 2, which, as we saw in the previous slide, is more so a introverted value. However, their desired value is a 7, which is more extroverted. So this individual in the social area will demonstrate very low in terms of extroversion. However, they actually want a high amount of interaction with you. Within the leadership area, we have a 1-0. So this individual demonstrates a 1 and desires a 0. So they are pretty introverted when it comes to leadership. And so that is called the melancholy. And then in the relationship area, we have an 8-6. This individual is a sanguine because they demonstrate high and they also desire high amounts of interaction. So WIDP will already have completed much of your clinical report, providing reliable clinical information in all of these subcategories. We have the social, leadership, and relationship. It produces a needs and desires. Within each of these areas, we have subcategories that appear that has more verbiage within the profile itself. We have the work orientation, motivation, intellectual orientation, perception of others, perception of self, perception by others, criteria for relationships, emotional orientation, and a rejection acceptance profile. Then also we have probable weaknesses and probable strengths. WIDP assessment meets the psychological testing evaluations qualifications that are required for third-party administration and is also HIPAA compliant. The CPT 96130 as well as the 96131. Worley's Identity Discovery Profile offers both Class A, which is non-clinical, and Class C clinical profiles. The Class A non-clinical profile requires no special qualifications required to purchase this profile, and it is available to all use in adults. The Class C clinical profile, which is TPA, in order to purchase a Class C profile, you must have a graduate degree in psychology, education, or closely related field that includes advanced training in the administration and interpretation of psychological tests. Or you'd be a member in a professional association that requires training and experience in the ethical and competent use of psychological tests. The third option would be to be licensed or certified by an agency which does the same. And of course, Worley's Identity Discovery Profile is one of those agencies that does just that. The 3 levels of certification that you can have within WIDP is an associate, an affiliate, or affiliate manager. If you'd like to have more information about WIDP, please visit our website at widp.org, or we have an info email that you can email info@widp.org, which you can find more information about registering for a seminar or some of our products, profiles, or purchasing the WIDP software system. That concludes our presentation. Thank you for your attention.